Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I would do another video on the space station and get it going a little bit more. Kind of stabilize my video card. I'm back on the planet surface again. Just working in space was really annoying because I couldn't turn up the light when I wanted to. Now right now I got it dark just to show you what I've got going on here. And I've been working on this wall primarily, which is where most of the like construction production area is going to be. I made a lot of changes in what was here on what I showed last time too. I kind of reformatted this section over here, added in another constructor, couple more bays over here. I got deconstructors in currently. I did build an island out here. It's pretty close to the side, and it allowed me to fit a lot more things I wanted to get in this wall area to keep it all tight, and so you don't have to walk too far when you're doing all the work if you're using the space station to do that. Um, and then it's kind of fit in between three different module bays. So you've got like a module bay here, and then on the end over there, and over on the other side. One other thing too is I mean, all this is not exactly finished yet, but I'm also trying to get in a medical bay over in the corner. So everything inside this hangar is pretty much getting asymmetrically or being built asymmetrically. Um, and yeah, I kind of like that idea. Here, let me crank on light so we can see a little bit better here. That is the option you don't get in space. um, so what I got to do now is figure out exactly how to do the top part of this base. Now there's a lot of room up here. I'm not sure on how big I want the edges. You know, this could be a solid ceiling all the way across. There could be another floor all the way across here, easily uh, generating a huge amount of space inside the base. It's just I don't want that much space, and I want to keep things pretty tight and useful for the player. That's why I'm trying to put everything useful, like over here, sort of like farms or something that would be up in these areas, and additional storage units, which hopefully I'll use that to fill in a lot of the area, to add in a lot of potential storage. Maybe fill in a couple just to, show how it's done. But right now it's got 6 320K storage bays out in this wall area. You've got 4 advanced constructors, 2 deconstructors, 4 small constructors, 3 furnaces. Now I did ask, how many furnaces is enough, and some people feel it's enough, and other people think it should have at least 6. So what I was thinking about doing is adding in like some bays up in the top area, which is going to have a lot of room, and I could put in like even set everything up for like another construction area, or just put in like 3 furnace mounts somewhere. And I'm not too worried about that at all, since it's not going to be a space issue whatsoever. It's just getting the layout down, and that's what took so long with this part too. And obviously, with the heat on the PC that I brought up last time, um, it's stabilized a little bit better. I've tweaked a couple more settings. I did not rip the video card apart yet. I ordered some new cooling stuff, some kind of thermal paste, and so I'll still do that. And other people brought up too that this game just runs really hot right now, especially with the 1.5 update. I can kind of agree with that because I'm looking at the CPU usage when I'm actually playing this, and it's typically cranking into the 90% range. Unless I'm like looking at the sky. Notice if I want to cool my PC down, just take a look at the sky. Temperature drops right down. But it's in safe levels right now. It's not freaking out anymore, so I'm happy about that. Anyway, enough rambling on. This part, I wanted to try to figure out the top, access to the top, how the repair bay is going to be mounted, and how it's all going to work out. Now, it's a little tricky on this part here. So what I'm going to do to start with is I got to do a little bit of measuring. I got to figure out where center is. So I'm going to drag. That should be pretty darn easy. So it looks like we're centered right there. Now the repair bay I wanted specifically in this location here. Has to be the same height as the walls out over there. And in the dead center I think would be the best option for it. Let me just fill this in going the other way here in a minute too. A lot of temporary stuff. And yeah, don't mind the, yeah, this is exterior as well. I should be using steel, but I don't think any of these blocks will remain what I just placed there. So what I'm also thinking about doing is I wanted to do something with the top to make it look kind of neat. People, also another comment suggested, glass. Glass is really cool, seeing outside and everything like that. And yeah, it is. It is. A couple things with glass is one, it does ramp up size class pretty quickly. But that's really about it. Other than that, I think it looks pretty nice. It's not terribly expensive or anything like that. So I'm not going to get too much into that. So what I'm thinking about doing is a combination of some of these areas on the top elevated to the same height as the repair bay, and then maybe do some indentions maybe in the corners for cosmetic effect. Trying to keep like both rolling pretty good. So over in these corners right now I've got this kind of block formation which I used a lot in this base. A combination of using this block, flip it the right way, like that, and using either this block or which I've been doing most of the time in this base is actually using the alternative version with the flat edge on this. So that's kind of how that is made, and then it can directly go to the your standard wedge shaped block, and you can make nice little angled indented patterns like that with those blocks pretty easily. And they're not a real high polygon block, or shouldn't wrap up size class much at all. All right, so let's embrace the window idea a little bit though. Let me get some good glass here, and I think this could be kind of neat. And I tried something like this before, but I was thinking I was doing way too small of little window slits. So I just got to experiment how this is going to work out and look. Okay, so this is the indented area. Now, not all of this area is going to be indented, but I figured the corners could get away with that. So put in like 3 angled blocks like that, and I'm going to go to the frameless full block for this, turn it at the same axis, something like that. And I want to keep the frame edges on there because that does look neat. So let's grab one of these. Oops, not an angled one. Which one am I looking for? That one. Okay. So one that only has a frame edge on one side. So we can do some kind of a little bit more shapely kind of glass here. Not sure how big to make it yet, so we'll just try something to see how that works out. And let's get another one of these like that. And then what we would want to do is start, God, should I start curving it back in already? For now. A lot of this could change too based on how the interior comes out, which is a bit of an unknown yet. If you try to make the rooms line up to like the ceiling correctly, if there's rooms, then you would kind of want to do it so everything kind of lines up, I guess, properly. Okay, so we got that. Let's put in this, there's a corner piece for this. Don't use these that much to remember exactly where they were, but yeah, where is it? I know it should be on one side and then the other side, kind of like that, but only 2 sides. I thought there was a piece like that. There are these with the prongs. Oh, that. Okay, that's what I wanted. So then we could remove those 2, put these in the corner, and then we should get a nice shaped piece of glass here. So another thing to fill in these little those little indentations there, there's a couple other pieces of glass that have little edge things on them, like this. I don't exactly line up to round, and they probably should be angled, but well, it's all right because it looks all right. It fits in there pretty good. So we can do that. Oh, I got a nice kind of fits the layout of this. I'm not so worried. Now this is one area I was planning on like just doing a corner of and then copying and pasting to the other side. So unlike the interior is going to be very asymmetrical, well, to a point. And the rest of this will probably be a little bit different. Now, the only thing that sucks with this indented glass is the fact that they're half blocks, and there's that same block that I'm always complaining about that I feel that is definitely needed in the game that is not there. And it would be kind of like taking this block, and it's probably going to sound like a broken record saying the same thing again. Like if this block was like it is, but that part was filled in, and it would be especially wonderful if the texture on this part and that part were two different like textures, and then you could really use these. But this is this dreaded block that is missing constantly, trying to work with so many things, and it causes you to do improvs that typically never look as good, and are harder to do actually. So what I pretty much have to do to make any of this work, if this is going to be the floor, is just square it off, because if you try to angle it back in place, it's not going to work. Okay, so we've got that, and let's put indentation maybe on the sides of the glass here for now. Just take a little bit more of these out. Like that. Now what I wanted to do is kind of make this come back up a little bit. Granted, this is take one on it too, so many times I'll start with something. You got to start somewhere, and then I'll look at it a little bit and like what could be done with that, what could make it look better. And a lot of times I will start with something like this, then I'll like keep on changing it until I'm finally happy with it. That's kind of how I work with most of this. Alright, so we've got those indentations there. Now what I'm thinking about doing is taking out that block and the block right on the other side of it and switching this so we can get like a line coming out that way that kind of meshes with that angle. Something like this. And again, I would love to angle this going that way over here, but it doesn't work. But can I angle this back in so we can get a slant here? I don't think that's going to work either. Probably not. I'll try it anyway just because I really want to see it happen. And so we can put in this block, but that obviously doesn't work with the bevel there. But what if I straighten this out in this case? So we got something like that. I think the only place I'm going to have a problem... No, actually that'll work this way. Okay. Good deal. Alright, and that probably should be steel yet too. So all just trying to get some complexity in the top of this to make it look a little more interesting. Again, not so sure on my glass shape either. Right now, but alright. So we've got that in there. Now this the center area here, I'm thinking could be mostly flat to the rest of it. But I would like to preserve as much of this wall area as I could. I did think it looked kind of neat having something there. So what I'm thinking about doing is maybe Run some blocks. So let's rotate these the right way in case they're kept. Kind of like that. Just trying to get it back up to the same height as the other part here. Put in like a barrier here a minute. Alright, and that's okay. Let's get rid of that. Pop in another one of those. Okay, so obviously this has got to go now. Now a lot of these blocks will probably get changed too also when I do the interior, because I'll try to manipulate some of the these full blocks here. And I can't get it to drag out now again. There it goes. Okay. This would be pretty boring if all that was just flat up here, though. But it is technically a repair bay. That's another thing too. The location of the repair console. Where exactly should that be sitting at, and what would be the easiest to get to? So if I was going to say this base had a front and a back to it, I would say that the side over here would be the front, even, and this would be the back if you're looking at it in that perspective. So if I would say that I would want to put the repair bay angling either on this side facing that way or this side facing that way, and I'm thinking since everything else is back on this side, it would make more sense having the repair console over on this side. Now what I was thinking about doing is I kind of liked how it was done on the Fata spaceport, where it was kind of like you kind of walk out there and you manually hit it when you got the ship in full sight, and that would be kind of neat here. But I guess another big thing is how in the heck are you going to get from down here up to there, and where does it go to from there? So I was thinking I could do the good old traditional elevators over here, which would probably be easier. But, well, man, yeah, I would have to go up one. I would have to go up, what is that, like 5 blocks? 4 blocks? I thought about doing stairs, basically, but I'm just thinking the logistics and the amount of size class the stairs would cost versus the elevators. And the elevators are just going to come out ahead on parts used versus the function. So let me grab some elevators, I guess. Let's see, some of those, and now right here I'm kind of establishing that there's going to be a floor here. So these elevators, I extended this side up to go to here. It's going to leave you a 2-slot area down below for putting in whatever. And then you could have like another 3 high area above that, except for where this window obviously is now. Alright, so let's just try a center location here, like right under the beam. Just bring it back one. Something like that. But now I'm thinking that if you're going to have a repair bay here, you got to be out of the way of the creation or the ship that's getting repaired, which would be sitting basically at this height. So that's not going to work. What I really need to do is have a little cutout over here. And yeah, this is just going to be unique to this one side here too, so I'll have to rebuild the other sides a little bit different. Okay, so now we're going to say that we've got a floor, a small area of floor here. Okay, let's widen that up just a little bit. And let me put in some of these same blocks around the edge again. Did I get that right? Yeah, I think so. Alright. So, let's see, repair console. I think it'd be neatest if it was literally facing like right there. So let's grab one of those in a minute. Repair bay console. So you come up the elevator, console's right there, ship gets probably laid across that way, but it doesn't have to be. And this is just kind of a wall right there. And let's have a little fun with this wall here too. Let's try to get a little curving in. Don't mind doing a little bit of that here and there. Alright, so after all that's done, then this would be essentially blocks there. Got a little dugout. Now, the only thing that I really think it could use now is a way up a block row so you can actually walk up here if you wanted to. And that I could do with the stairs. And also I'm going to have to seal the top of that elevator off. So, okay, let's just say over on this side we cut out these two. Just add another block on these sides in a minute. And then, to make sure it's nice and airtight, let's also add some blocks below it. Yeah, stairs are one thing you really got to watch for losing O2 because they're not airtight, which is well, you could run into problems with that for sure. I have several times before. Okay, so we got that. Let's get some steps. Alright, so then the inside here. Let's try to make these blocks a little bit more interesting. Maybe let's try that. And the same thing there. Alright. Now we've got this little repair bay alcove that'll be unique to this one side here, so it's not getting repeated. Gonna make it a kind of a nightmare copying this one side over to the other sides. Maybe I'll have to cut that down a little bit. Alright, for now I think what I'm going to do, again, a lot of these blocks could be changed, but I want to fill it in to see where things are at. So I'm just going to kind of like use full blocks here a minute and get that area filled in, at least on this corner here. Some of these areas are just kind of like boring to look at, but I don't know if that window's not terribly big, and it could have more glass in the middle for sure too. Maybe it will later on. Depends. And here, let's do a little bit of copy paste here a minute. I wanted to grab it at a certain point. Actually this whole side here, I think. So Start there and grab this whole chunk. Oh, I can't do that, can I? I can't just flip it. No, I can't. Oh, that's not gonna work. So again, I gotta manually build it on the other side. On this side, should have had symmetry on, I guess. So let me turn that back off again. We'll get rid of that. The reason why it won't work is I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, I gotta rotate it a different direction, which would misalign this other stuff here. So, all right, that sucks. Come on. Yeah, come on, drag. 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 No. There it goes. Okay, so let me get a couple lines in here again. I don't like that area either, so that'll get messed with. Let's just start filling this in. Now tomorrow, I'm thinking about doing another dive into the workshop, taking a look at some relatively random creations throughout time. So I don't really have anything. I guess what catches my eye, I think, or a little bit from memory on seeing really cool stuff in the past that I never actually spawned and checked out in person. Oh, that's not actually solid there. Okay, well I guess I better get the glass in it over on this side for now. And that glass really could be a lot bigger for sure. And probably actually I'm thinking it would look better if it was bigger. Or what if it was split? I could copy this glass chunk over, so I could copy this part over. So I'm thinking that would save some time, and maybe try to enhance this before I did it. How to enhance it? What if the glass had was separated and then it had a angled beam in between the two sides, like that? That'd be kind of neat. Then how do you close that back down again? And it should line up over to there. So we put in a really skinny slit. That's a little too skinny. Okay, so how about there, there, there? Get rid of this stuff again. Oh, and I'm missing a piece there. Okay. All right. So now, should this actually be glass here, or should I angle that? Oh, actually, yeah, I think I like that angle better than what was there. And then could do a smaller one on this side, I guess. Like that. I wish they were the same width, though. And I can't make that wider, but I can make this one smaller. Oh, what if I do that? Oh, hold on. Yeah, I do a lot of thinking out loud, I guess, here, especially when doing a video. A lot of stuff trying to make work right, and what I'm really would like to see those interesting glass formations. There's a lot of parts to use, a lot of options. So maybe I don't close that down. Now I run the glass all the way out. Let me do that. And let's see, the double-sided frame edge piece. And then I guess What really can be done is closing it down probably with one of these. And a couple filler pieces. Oh wait, actually probably these, one of these things. Oh, I don't think I can do it on both sides, so. They put in all these different peg options, but it's missing like one on either side, so if that's the case, I'm not going to do either. Oops. Oh, wait, oh. What is that piece? Okay, so we want one of those there, and one of, where'd it go? That there. Now with the peg in it. Like that. Oh, wait. Okay, so that makes a nice frame around both windows. All to just try to get a little something in there. What is? It's kind of a weird pattern, though. Still don't know if I'm on board with that. That look like from inside. A little weird. Well, I'll probably end up modifying it later. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. It's not entirely bad. I'm not sure what I don't like about it, though. Something's not jiving quite right with the angles. Kind of wondering, though. Maybe it's here. One more change. Yeah, it's almost like I'm reverting back to what I just had there. Okay, so here could be regular block again. Is that really going to make much of a difference? We got a slit there, and okay. Oh, where is it again? There. Okay, so maybe we take those out. We run the angled glass in a block. About there. Let's get some other blocks in here. Why does that look off? Is it off? No, I can't. No, that's straight on. Okay. Well, of the designs so far, it's my favorite, but don't necessarily know if that's the coolest thing imaginable. Alright, so now I'm taking a look at these bevels going around here, and I'm starting to not like that. Now, I don't like what's going on in this block row, but because I'm kind of, yeah, it goes from that to this other thing. So what if this was just all changed a little bit here? And see, how would that be done? Can that be done? Let's start out, pop in one of these here to make the other side go the same way. And this, I guess, would just be a full block. And then we take out those blocks and let's put in something to look at. A little pipe or something. Would that make any sense at all? Or is that just a dumb place for a pipe? Probably a dumb place for a pipe. Alright, we'll just fill it in for now. You know what? Let's change the angle here. Let's put in the other angle so we can trim that up quicker. And then it can go from there and then go into one of these right next to it. And then we get that shape on the inside. And okay, last thing here to address. Same idea over here. Yeah, let's do that again there. Alright. Just to see how this is generally going to come out. Do the copy again. I'm only going to start like right here and grab the squarish. Oh, flip that. So from there to here. One more block on the. I got a little something off here. I'm okay with that though. Alright. Paste that. Oh, I didn't copy the actual glass below it. It wasn't low enough. Okay, so alright, so let's do a little bit of filling here in a minute. I can kind of set up half of it. The other half will go a lot easier. But I got to make sure I like this half first. I think it did something like that to the edge. Does that still work? No. Gotta say I don't like this right here. So, alright. At this point, maybe I can turn on some symmetry going in this direction. Okay, so like that. And, alright. This, not good. Let's just restore these blocks the way they were. Okay, just straight up look better. Simpler too. And yeah, I'll do that here too. Now, what to do about this other part here though? How am I going to pull that angle off if I straighten everything out like that? And how does this line up? Or it doesn't. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe it just doesn't go to the edge here, which would make that work out better. I could put in something like that. I'll get rid of that. Change the angle with one of these. Get it to the center point. It's not going to repeat well on this side though, is it? Oh, okay, so that was already curving. So this has got to be different on this side because of that area there. It's amazing how long you can screw around with like one thing, one aspect of this till it like comes out right. Say like I'm not sold on what's here yet. I'm not. It's maybe it's my shape, maybe it's the angles over here. Not sure exactly what's throwing me off, but something I don't like yet. And I think maybe this part. Or maybe this should blend better with its angle. It should start sooner than it was, and to keep it more at a 45. A little better. I guess what I don't like now is I wouldn't mind keeping it all at 45 here, and it's got that little bit of a jog out there, but I think that may be needed for the stairways that I got there. Let's cut that and find out, I guess. Yeah, see if I did that, then it would be at that, which I think looks better, but maybe I move those stairways or do something with them. to fix that part of it. But I think this would just look better if it was at straight angle and not have this little thingy here. Alright, then down in here, I guess I'll just run some half blocks there for now to fill the floor in. You know, with all that done, this piece of glass, the inner piece of glass, could actually go to the same width as the outer. But if it was maybe angled like that instead. Oh no, it can't go to the same width as the outer. It'd be a little bit bigger, wouldn't it? A half block off like that. I wonder how that would look. Hmm. Okay, so what? Anything else that can be done there? Not really. Yeah, it's a different glass design, but I don't know. I don't know about it yet. Alright, so another thing. Now this is kind of weird over here because you walk up the stairs and you literally fall off the edge right away. So maybe these stairs come back in a block row. I do not like using the smaller steps, so that's just a thing with me. I can't stand them. The 45 ones. So I always use these bigger ones that take up more space, but I don't like the way a player walks up the other ones. In this case, it might not be a problem because it's a space station, but at least on land stuff, it causes some issues with like not being able to walk up them unless you start jumping and stuff, and I can't stand that. Not to mention there's steps in real life aren't, well, either of these two sizes. Typically they're somewhere in between. But the 45s are definitely just, you don't see that unless it's some kind of ladder or something. This is pretty tight here. What about the curve? Okay, so now what I don't like is it goes straight and then it curves here. Like it does that, and then it goes into that, which is like a little bit too much, I think. Maybe this should just be angled off instead of the curve now. Could go that route with it. And then put in a couple of these, like it's doing so many other places in the base. Okay, so now this back area here, it's kind of weird, kind of thin. I'm going to change this row and try to, I don't know, maybe even bring it up to a full block. Might look better, potentially. So it's got that illusion of separation between this row and that row, and that's kind of what I wanted to maintain. Even though it's like thoroughly connected to it, I just want it to look like it's a different part there. So that's why all this screwing around with this and trying to keep this outer edge at the same level, or the same, or keeping that same pattern across the whole thing. See, now I could just about copy this whole thing over to the other side. Let me do that a minute, see how it's going to look as a whole. And I'll just cut out the console part of it on the other side. I think that should work. Oh, no, it's not going to work yet because I didn't go down deep enough. Okay. Alright, see what happens. Okay, so figure, let's see, this is the side, yeah, this is the side without the console. Let's see, symmetry's off, let's get rid of that. Should there be an elevator coming up here, though? Guess it doesn't need it, does it? So it's a little bit light on glass right now, but that might be another thing too. That maybe this area here is pretty solid. Not much going on. Could easily put in some glass inlays in there. What does the glass look like from the bottom of the base? Oh, looks like I'm missing some parts in there too. Didn't even see that. Yeah, it's all right. These things just take a long time to really work out. This whole thing has been taking a long time to work out. It's despite being kind of symmetrical, it's been fairly complicated making it. Just trying to get a lot of stuff in there that fits and works and get the aesthetics looking the way I would want them to. What I think the top needs, it's too flat, too boring right there yet. So I'm thinking maybe even if it just had some like superficial lines, like the Helios landing deck. Let me spawn one of those. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Had a bunch of it done, and it gave it some definition. And although it's kind of annoying when you're walking over the top of it, if you are walking over the top of it, overall though, it gave it some neat geometry. And what I did is I just kind of like use these these common like wedge blocks, and I did these rows and patterns like across the whole thing, and kind of like set it up that way. And that was really because this whole area needed to be flat, and I wanted to do something. Oops, I wanted to do something with that, and so basically kind of drew in inset lines into the deck to make a pattern, which I think made it look a lot better at the end. So I'm thinking that same technique I'll probably want to do on this top section and swap some of these blocks for those other ones and make some kind of like framing looking pattern that goes over the top of that area. And then keep on evaluating the glass as well to see, you know, looking at this shape here, easily if I wanted big windows, I could, this could be glass going straight there, and this, literally this whole area that you see here could all be glass. It doesn't need the seam in the middle. Maybe that would be a better plan, especially if I get some kind of something in there, but I don't know. I'll stop there for this video. It's probably getting going on pretty long. A lot of these just do. Man, you know, if I was trying to do a video on doing this section over here, it would have taken 5-6 videos. It took so long manipulating and trying to change this around. And I started with one area which I shown you on one video, but then I rebuilt all this and I added all this framework down here and changed this around and built this other side differently than that side, and getting all the storage, you know, to come out to the right numbers and out of the way. And there's just a lot of playing around with this stuff. But I'm hoping in the end it's all gonna be worth it, because yeah, I think everything will be set up in here pretty good, you know, with getting all the modules docked, more modules below, engineering down over there. This room here, I'm not even sure. This is, it's a pretty big, tall room. It could be a fluff thing, or another production center, like maybe a spot down there you can put in a lot more crafting equipment and stuff like that. And then I got to figure out, you know, how you're gonna get down there. Right now I'm shooting for like an elevator here and here. I didn't want it down the center necessarily, because I kind of want to keep that unobstructed, because that's the middle of the like fly-through hangar. All right. Well, anyway, you guys have yourself a good day, and I'll probably be doing a video tomorrow on some neat creations I show from the workshop from other people. All right. See you later.